To divide rational expressions, you multiply by the reciprocal of the divisor, just as you do when you divide rational numbers. To identify the restrictions on the variable for a quotient, you must find the restrictions from any denominator used in the calculation. This means you must find the restrictions on not just the denominators of the dividend and the divisor, but also on the numerator of the divisor. Problem 3. Dividing rational expressions. What is the quotient? 2 minus x over x squared plus 2x plus 1 divided by x squared plus 3x minus 10 over x squared minus 1 in simplest form. State any restrictions on the variable. Consider what you may think on the left and what you might write on the right as you work through this problem. First think. To divide, you multiply by the reciprocal and write the original division expression as multiplication by the reciprocal, so it becomes 2 minus x over x squared plus 2x plus 1 times x squared minus 1 over x squared plus 3x minus 10. Next think. The expressions may have common factors, so factor the numerators and denominators. And our factored form becomes 2 minus x over x plus 1 times x plus 1 times the numerator x plus 1 times x minus 1 over x plus 5 times x minus 2. Note the denominator on the left, x plus 1 times x plus 1, could have been written as x plus 1 squared, but it may be helpful to have these binomials repeated and written side by side when it comes time to search for and cross-reduce common factors. And this is a good point in the process to consider or look for any factors that seem really close but just aren't quite perfect matches. In this case, we have a 2 minus x in the numerator of the fraction on the left and an x minus 2 in the denominator of the fraction on the right. If only there was a way to further factor one of these two so that we can find a common factor and reduce. Well, think. Factor negative 1 from 2 minus x at the top left to get a second x minus 2 factor. And do that. On the right, as you write, negative 1 times x minus 2 over x plus 1 times x plus 1 times x plus 1 times x minus 1 over x plus 5 times x minus 2. Next think, divide out the common factors and cross-reduce. The x minus 2's cancel. The x plus 1, at least one of the x plus 1's in the denominator on the left, cancels with the x plus 1 in the numerator of the fraction on the right. Then think, rewrite the remaining factors. We still have a negative 1 times x minus 1 for a numerator, and one of the x plus 1's remaining times x plus 5 for the denominator. Always take a look at your simplified form and see if there is a way to further simplify or find more common factors between the numerator and denominator. In this case, it is simplified. Finally think, identify the restrictions from the denominator of the simplified expression and from any other denominator used throughout the process. So, x does not equal negative 1, x does not equal negative 5, x does not equal 1, and x does not equal 2. Your turn, part A. What is the quotient? X squared plus 5x plus 4 over x squared plus x minus 12 divided by x squared minus 1 over 2x squared minus 6x in simplest form. State any restrictions on the variable. And part B, a reasoning item. Without doing the calculation, what is the greatest number of restrictions the quotient x squared plus 8x plus 7 over x squared minus x minus 12 divided by x squared plus 2x minus 8 over x squared plus 13x plus 24 could have? Explain.